Welcome to the next episode of the Pints Podcast. Hello, James.
Hello, mate.
You look thrilled to be here.
Yeah, I'm, as always, happy to be here. Once again, sore throat, feel like a bit of a broken record. I feel like I'm saying this every week. But I did have to cancel 2 gigs yesterday because I was quite sure I could not get through it. Throat felt like sandpaper. It's not much better today. But we move on. I've had my 2nd vaccination this morning, so
invincible.
I'm fully expecting to feel like utter shite later on, but we'll see.
Yeah, well, I'm just acclimatizing to normal life. I've done my 10 days isolation as I got the dreaded positive COVID test.
And how are you feeling?
A week or so ago. I'm fine. My taste is a bit strange, to say the least, but I think that's the least of my worries, really. I can crack on. But sorry?
You carry on.
Now I was going to say you just got back from Leeds Festival, didn't you, this weekend?
Yeah, I didn't go for the weekend. I went on the Friday. It was actually a birthday present from my wife, which was lovely. So it was Jerry and Liam was the reason that she bought it. It's Jerry Cinnamon and Liam Gallagher for you.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were talking about Jerry Halliwell.
No. Wish she was there, but never mind. There were a few kind of swap outs, some late in the day and some, a few weeks in advance. But we had Queens of the Stone Age drop out and were replaced by Biffy. Biffy were absolutely fantastic, by the way.
That's a positive swap.
Yeah, and an even better swap in my eyes happened really late in the day, and that was Machine Gun Kelly dropping out to be replaced by one of my favourite bands and the band after which my daughter is named, Blossoms. So that was great.
Is she actually named after? I'd never thought you'd confirmed that. I thought that was just to be assumed.
It kind of happened in the sense that Jess had indicated she liked it as an idea for a name, so I just pushed it then because I could.
I thought there was a reason why.
I figured 2 years ago when we decided on the name, I might one day have a music-based podcast and I could tell this story. So,
yeah, my little Blossoms pun just went under the radar. You missed it, but
I didn't hear what you said.
We move on. Well,
what did you say?
No, it's gone now. You'll have to listen back intently and try and capture it. But yeah, I saw Machine Gun Kelly had dropped out, and I don't know if you've heard the Jackmate episode where he talks about meeting him at Reading and Leeds.
Yes,
but yeah, it kind of has put me off him completely. I mean, his music did a good job of that anyway, but I think that was the final nail in the coffin.
Yeah, if you've got shit music but you're an all right person, then you're okay. But if you've got shit music and you're just a complete tosser, then you're going to struggle, really. So
yeah, couldn't agree more.
Good riddance to you. Leeds was better without you. So if I can talk about Leeds, I thought it was fantastic. As I say, we only went for the day, so we kind of drove up there. Well, I didn't drive. I had a good few sherbets, as they say in Yorkshire. That is a pint, not a powder. Yeah,
it sounded more adventurous.
Yeah, which surprised me when I first heard the term sherbet. But Yorkshire people do refer to pints as sherbets. So
I lived in Yorkshire for 4 or 5 years and never heard that term once. But,
uncultured. Yeah, it was good. So Jess drove us up there. Very long walk through pretty much every campsite from the car park to get to the arena. Food was spot on. Someone who surprised me, and I didn't think, we kind of got there with the expectation that we were going to watch this person because I've known who they are for years and years and years, and you probably, Sean, know where I'm going with it now.
Ollie Alexander?
No, was not expecting him to be even remotely entertaining, I don't think, in a music sense. And that was KSI, and I thought he absolutely smashed it.
Oh no,
he did. He was good. I don't like his music, but from an entertainment point of view, he was actually good. He was auto tuned to fuckery, but as an entertainer, I thought he was quite good. He impressed me, and he was one of the earlier acts that we watched.
Just tried to storm out.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I wondered where you'd gone.
I actually saw a clip of it. It's the one that's going around about sounding auto-tuned.
Oh yeah, he was really auto-tuned. As I say, the music. I'm not a fan of the music, but as an entertainer, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
I didn't. Despite the fact that I hate his music, I didn't hate his set, and I think that says something about the performance. So who do we have after that? Kind of bounced around. Youngblood was fantastic.
but didn't he get Machine Gun Kelly on, or was that just Reddit? He got him on a video link or something, or was that just Reddit?
I didn't catch his full set, so maybe he did get him on a video link. I don't know. I saw that he did that at Reading. He might have done that at Leeds too, but as I say, he certainly didn't do it for the few songs that I watched him.
Well, you know who interviewed a Youngblood, don't you?
I do. It was a younger Sean Marsh.
Indeed, correct.
Yeah.
You also missed another one of my puns then before when you said something about years and years and years, and I said Ollie Alexander.
Okay.
Completely bypassed it.
Well, I did see Years and Years at Kendall Calling 2 years ago, and they were also brilliant.
Okay. I'm going to give up with the puns now.
Please do.
Should we move on to the actual podcast?
Let's continue to talk about Leeds. I'm enjoying this. It's my time to shine. It's always you talking. So, yeah, it was really good. Youngblood, fantastic. We watched Arizona Zervas for quite a while. Jess is more into that kind of music than I am.
I don't know what that is.
It's they're kind of they're very Post Maloney.
That's why I don't know what that is.
That type of music, yeah. You know the song Roxanne?
What, by the Police?
No, not Roxanne. It's Roxanne.
Oh, yeah,
all she want to do is party all night. It's them. I didn't realize that was them until they played it for the last song.
Okay, no, I have heard that song.
Yeah, that went off. They were all right. Yeah,
I think I heard that song on radio. I sometimes flick to Radio 1 if I hear Royal Blood for the 5th time in a day on Radio X, and then I sometimes do make the odd switch. So it's
Tom Grennan smashed it as per. Blossoms, unreal. It was the first time Jess had seen Blossoms, surprisingly. She loved them, so that was great. Jerry smashed it, as per usual. Not Jerry Halliwell, it's Jerry Cinnamon, for those who are confused from Sean's earlier comments.
Both fantastic artists.
Yeah, and then we moved over to the main stage east for Biffy. I'd never seen Biffy. I've been told they're fantastic live. They did not disappoint. They were exceptional, especially at relatively short notice. Not that, I mean, that was a stupid thing to say. Not like, they're not a huge band that don't rehearse all the time anyway. So, yeah, but they were fantastic. And then, believe it or not, it was the first time I'd seen Liam Gallagher. So I got quite emotional multiple times during that set.
So the headliner's not Clash then? Is that?
No, I think it's the first time they've done that, isn't it? So they with both they never really. I think there was probably at most a 5 or 10 minute overlap between any acts on both of the main stages all day. So it was basically, if you kind of stand in the middle of the two of the hills, you could just walk slightly one way to catch, for example, Jerry, and then when Jerry finished, you just walk 50 to 100 yards the other direction towards the other stage, and Biffy would just be starting in like 10 minutes. And then when Biffy finished, everyone just legged it over to the main stage west. And again, 10 minutes later, Liam came on. And it was like that all day. The times kind of didn't clash with each other. So it was really good. We had friend of the pod, Katie Owen, introducing acts on Main Stage West, not just on the Friday, but all weekend. She did a fantastic job. And it was Sunta Templeton doing the same thing on Main Stage East. So maybe we'll get her on the pod soon as well, and we can talk to her all about it. But we'll see.
Yeah, maybe links. So she wasn't at Reading then. Was she the? I assume she'd be the Reading compare.
I don't know if she was there for Saturday and Sunday, but she was definitely at Leeds on Friday.
Oh, good. Sounds good. Sounds like you had a good time. And
Yeah.
we'll,
And the food trucks were unreal, by the way.
yeah,
Let's move on.
They always are. They always are. So we've delved into the archives today, haven't we? Well, the very limited archives. For a podcast, we've been probably discussed every week since doing it, and in terms of when we're going to put it out, and we've debated doing a couple of weeks. Well, sort of a couple of podcasts in 1 week sometimes. Obviously now we've drifted into more a fortnightly process anyway. But this one focuses on a local musician, isn't it? From the Northwest. I think he gigs around the Northwest.
Yeah, he's a good friend of mine. He gigs in similar locations to me, pubs and bars all around the Northwest, St. Helens, Liverpool, all those places, Ormskirk, etc. He's really talented. He's an absolutely fantastic guitarist. He's got a great voice, and he's a funny guy. And we had a really good chat with him, and he had some interesting picks, as you will see.
Well, yeah. So this was one of the first ones we recorded, and it was obviously the process is any three musicians, past or present. You'll see in this podcast that Dave didn't quite get the concept,
but it puts his own spin on it, which I love.
Yeah, but it makes for an interesting listen, I hope. So yes.
Yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Apologies to Dave for how long it's taken for us to get this one out, but we're finally here. It's a great episode, and I hope you all enjoy it.
Yeah, let's get him in. And we're joined this week by a local musician from St. Helens. It's Dave Quilliam. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks, mate. How are you?
I'm very good, very good. How's life? What have you been up to?
Good, yeah. I've just been enjoying a bit more freedom recently. Just kind of taking advantage of that. So yeah, just getting out.
You've obviously been being a local musician. You've missed out on a hell of a lot of gigs, obviously during the pandemic. So, what have you been doing with your time instead?
Well, I think I moved to Manchester for like 6 months. I think that was my initial start of the pandemic. So I kind of got used to the city a little bit. I don't know the inside of anywhere because it was all shut down, but I kind of, that was about 6 months. And then kind of just kind of been putting money into a home gym, which is, I think, what most people have been doing. That's about it, really. Music wise, I bought a new guitar just at the start of it. So I've just been playing with that.
Fiddling around with the new home, yeah. It is a beauty as well, like guitar. Are you still in Manchester now?
No, I moved back. It just seemed a bit silly to be paying rent to just live in one room and not really move.
Were you going to Manchester for the music scene, or was it other reasons?
Yeah, well, I thought there might be a bit there, but yeah, sadly, I think as most people know, there's not really anything.
Yeah. And you work a 9 to 5 as well, don't you? So presumably that was part of the reason for moving it originally, to be closer to your place of work, or am I off the mark?
Yeah, well, it was. I think the commutes have been really good. I don't know if you how far your drives are, but mine's like the time's been cut by a good half hour every morning, so that's been quite good.
My commute at the minute is about 13 steps from the bedroom to the dining room. So it's It's not been.
I'm liking you've shown off the dining room is your work/guitar studio at the moment, which is looking quite impressive.
Yeah. I like to set up my sort of recording equipment to the side of my office type desk setup. So that on my lunch hour and whatnot, I can possibly record a couple of tunes.
I was going to say, is your boss in that at all, or?
Yeah, well, she will have seen it because I've not hidden the fact that it's all set up there. But I obviously don't use it during the time that I'm actually working, and if I did do that, I would be absolutely caught out. So no, it's there for me to use, on my breaks and on my lunch and after work and whatnot. And it's been good. I've seen obviously a few things that you've posted on your social media during lockdown. You posted a couple of little guitar covers and whatnot. Have you been using the time to work on some new stuff for your set list?
Yeah, I've got quite a few. I think because you'd spoke to me about kind of doing a bit of a collaboration stuff. I think the set list you sent across was quite a lot of the similar songs I've been working on. So there was like the Dire Straits, like Sultans of Swing, Hotel California, a few things like that. And I think they've took a while because obviously they're quite heavy guitar orientated. So I've tried to make them kind of a bit intricate if I can, which has just meant that it's taken absolutely ages. And I probably just need to simplify them really. But yeah.
You're a hell of a lot better at the guitar stuff than I am, mate, Richard. The only reason those songs are on that list is because I know that you're fully capable of doing those more intricate bits that I can't do.
What's really annoying is there's a set of videos of me playing Hotel California the whole way through on Instagram from about 2-3 years ago, and I know it's there, I can do it, but I just can't remember any of it. So I need to just look again. Hopefully that one's just one I can quickly get going again.
So has music always been a part of your life then? How did you first get into it?
I think I was 7. I was kind of put in like classical lessons when I was a kid, which is really annoying because one of my mates had an electric guitar at the same time. So I was just constantly moaning that I hate playing classical stuff, and he was off playing like Ramones and, that kind of style. But then, I was in bands. There's a rock school, this group in St Helens, and they kind of just put kids together in bands. So I was in that since I was about 10. So played at a few kind of metal bars as like a, about 4 foot high kid with a guitar twice his size. It was quite a funny scene. Yeah.
And that kind of rock, obviously Sean hasn't heard too much of your music. Obviously I know you quite well, and that rock sort of twist has never really left you, particularly your voice. You've got a very rocky voice, and I was actually just saying to Sean before you jumped on, one of the things I really like about your set, we'll get around to your set in a minute, you can tell us all about
fair enough.
The kind of stuff that you play, but I was telling Sean some of my favorites that you do are the kind of songs where you put your own sort of rock type twist on songs that wouldn't usually fit that genre. One of my favorites that you do is What You Know by Two Door Cinema Club. I know you do a cracking cover of Mamma Mia by ABBA as well. So tell us a little bit about your set. Tell us a bit about what people can expect to hear from you.
So it's a lot of I've got anything from Franz Ferdinand, like you say, to ABBA. Do a Take On Me cover. I think these are I think Mamma Mia is one of the ones where I feel a bit it's just a comical one at the end of the night, isn't it, really? But there's a lot of indie ones in there. I'm trying to add a bit more Catfish and the Bottlemen and stuff like that. I know you've kind of showed me a lot of John Mayer recently, so that's been making a bit of an entrance. There's quite a big list, really. I think it's a lot of dad rock in there. I think that seems to go down quite well.
I wonder how many times John Mayer's going to sneak his way into this podcast one way or another. That's the second time in two days of recording that we've been speaking about John Mayer, however briefly.
You never know. You might get him on.
Play your cards right. Very, very surprised if that happened. But you never know.
I'd be very, very surprised if we accepted it from John Mayer.
Yeah, I don't know. He's a bit like B-list, isn't he? C-list.
I've heard he has a controversial past.
That's got no context though. Right. Anyway, do you write any of your own music then?
I've toyed with it. I think I keep writing stuff that I can't sing, and I think this is where I'm always of the view, if I could get a band and get a group together, I think I'd have about 50, 60 songs just ready to go. But I always write stuff like that. The problem is I listen to anything from kind of like it'll be Alter Bridge, where it's Miles Kennedy singing really high. There's Nothing But Thieves, he's a really high singer. Greta Van Fleet's the new one, which is kind of, I don't know if you've heard them, they're really good. but that's all up here. So that's my influence. I keep writing things there. I don't know what to do with this. So that's I think if I ever did find a band, we'd have about 5 albums done there and then.
I don't know if you saw Greta Van Fleet's Twitter interchange with Liam Gallagher.
I've not, no. Oh no, it was he confused him for Greta Thunberg, didn't he?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Have you heard the new album?
What, Greta Van Fleet?
Yeah.
No, I haven't. No.
They brought that out. I think it was last Friday. I think we're on like a bit of a period at the moment. I think Royal Blood have got one on the way as well, and a few others.
Yeah. I know Royal Blood's coming.
For reference for the listeners, the current date of recording is Tuesday, the 20th of April. So last Friday refers to probably the 16th of April. This is possibly going to get published in May sometime.
Oh, okay, yeah.
When not entirely sure of the exact publication date as of yet. So go ahead, Sean.
I was just going to say, how have you found the whole lockdown when you couldn't go out and play?
I think at first I was it was quite good. I think I was after a bit of a chill. I think I've been quite busy every weekend with either social visits or gigs, and I think I kind of wanted a bit of a chill. And there is a post online of me saying I could do with a weekend off, and then my friends keep joking, saying 52 weeks later, how many weeks later. At first it was a bit of I could do with a bit of a break, but I think probably in 6 weeks I was like, I just kind of need to get back out really. I think when it's kind of quite a big part of your weekend, you don't really know how to fill that time, but if you're not gigging. Hopefully I've been to a couple of open mics. Well, I've been to the Junctions one on Tuesday, was that? I think they're every Friday now. They're pretty good. They've got a good big marquee if you're kind of keen for that.
How's that working at the moment? Is that a kind of bring your own mic situation?
I think they've got a mic cover and they just change it per act.
Interchangeable foam covers then.
Yeah.
Is it been busy?
Yeah, it's had there's a good 8 acts or something last time. So that was really good. And then they had someone there just with the cajon rather than a drum kit this time. So I've not played one of those before, but that's really good. Just adds a lot to any song you do, really. So
yeah, I do like a cajon. Oh, so they had a guy just filling in for all the acts.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
That was really good.
That. What's your opinion on open mics in general? And I kind of know the answer to this, but it's more for the listeners because I know that you share the same opinion as me, and that they're really good to get out there and get rid of particularly after being locked in for so long, getting rid of a bit of the rust. But also I think it's a perfect platform for sort of beginners and newer players as well as the more experienced veterans, and people that have been doing it for years like you and I to get up and actually showcase the stuff and gain some confidence. But open mics get a lot of criticism from a certain sort of small area of the local live music scene. When I say local, I don't mean local specific to one area. I mean in general. The small scale live music scene, in that some people think basically that bars and pubs use open mics as a method to gain free entertainment.
I can see where they'd come from, I guess, but it's more of a community thing. It's like, it brings people together in that area. But I think if the pub has a bit of an atmosphere from it, then I don't see an issue with that at all. I think they're not advertising acts on a Saturday night, for example. That's when they're kind of not getting a freebie. They're kind of advertising, and they'll pay the musician for that. No, I really like open mics. I think that's my kind of aim for this year, is just to be at an open mic twice a week, 3 times a week if I can. I think they're really good for finding people that are also kind of like-minded. For example, I met you at an open mic, didn't I? I'm sure half the musicians you've met at an open mic. It's more common than finding someone you've seen live and going over and being really chatty.
Right. Yeah.
I really like them for kind of if there's songs you're not sure about in a set. That's a good trial. You don't have to do crowd pleasers. I really like open mics. I think they're a really good laugh.
I spoke to a band in January called The Howl and the Hum. And he said he used to just do open mics in York, and then he met the rest of the band sort of through doing open mics. So, and as you were saying before, you would maybe need a band for the songs that you write yourself to come to life. So you never know.
Yeah, well, there we go. Here's hoping for three times a week. I've got to, But yeah, no, fair enough.
A good chance of coming across enough musicians. If I had the time, mate, I'd get involved definitely. But at the minute, I've got my
I know you're
too many.
Very busy.
I've not only adopted a co-host position for this podcast, but I'm also the chief and in fact only editor. So that's taken up a fair bit of time as well.
Ask John Mayer.
I'll get John Mayer involved. I think he's got a controversial past. Actually, I don't really want to get him involved.
I feel like we need to. Yeah, I wouldn't get John Mayer on here.
No,
just out of principle, don't get him on.
We'll leave John Mayer. I've got one more question before we move on to Fantasy Pints and the theme of the podcast. I know you, met you actually, knew your dad before I knew you from the Junction open mic in Rainford years ago. And for the listeners, the night that I met Dave, he turned up with his dad. I think he'd been away at university at the time, which is why he hadn't been to the open mic previously. Turned up with his dad, and his dad basically said to me, James, this is my son. He's incredible on the guitar. He's not really very confident. He's obviously not brought his guitar, and I think your dad had his electric with him at the time. He said, "Is there any chance Dave can jump on your acoustic guitar and get up and do a set?" I was like, "Yeah, absolutely, no problem." And I'm not ashamed to say, and I've told Dave a million times, I wasn't expecting him because of Dave's very quiet demeanor at the time. I wasn't expecting much from him, and he got up there and. My guitar has still to this day never been played as well as he played it, and I know exactly which two songs you played, and that was Paramore, Misery Business, and What You Know by Two Door Cinema Club. There was another song actually, and I can't remember for the life of me what that was, but I was incredibly impressed by that. And obviously from there, we sort of developed a friendship. And one thing from that friendship, this was a really long-winded way to get around to what I was about to say, but in developing that friendship with you and watching your confidence grow from being a really quiet kid that wouldn't necessarily want to get up at the open mic to now being a guy who gets out and does multiple gigs of a weekend when the world allows him to. Obviously, it's difficult with the current situation, and we're all struggling, but I've no doubt that when we get back out of that, you'll be gigging again. You struggled at first with accepting the fact that the crowds want to hear Oasis and Mamma Mia and all those crowd pleaser type tracks, and I know you hated that at first, but how did you sort of overcome the internal struggle to sort of get over that and learn those tracks and start playing them?
I think
do you think that your set has improved as a result?
I can't remember who it was I was speaking to about that actually. It might have been you even, but I think someone said you definitely enjoy your gig more if the crowd enjoy your set. So if you're playing something that they don't want to hear and they don't enjoy it, you just won't enjoy the gig. Full stop. Regardless of if you're playing, your favorite song, you won't enjoy the gig. So I think I do, the odd Oasis, and I to this day I do apologise. Jerry Cinnamon, if I get asked, I plain up have not bothered to learn a song from him. That's personal, just my bad. Sorry, I will work on that. But I think I've kind of made them a bit my own in terms of. I'll play guitar that I find interesting underneath it or something, or you kind of make the song your own. It's still everyone recognises it is Oasis or it is Mamma Mia, but I'm not going to lie, everyone loves ABBA, so I actually quite enjoy playing that. But yeah, I think that's that. If you you definitely enjoy the gig more if you're not playing what you want, but what they want. So yeah, I think that's where I've taken it basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think you will give in and learn Jerry Cinnamon?
I feel like I've got to now, haven't I?
Yeah.
I've admitted it on. I'll pretend I don't know any, and then they're like, "Oh, well, I heard you on this podcast the other week, and you just said you don't like him."
I play probably somewhere between 8 and 12 different Jerry tracks. Obviously, not every gig, but when requested, they're there to be played. But if I was going to give you one to learn, and it's the one that gets requested at every single
Is it Belter?
Gig, yes, you already know the answer.
This is my issue. I hate Belter.
just learn it.
Yeah, I know. I'll give it a whirl.
Save yourself the headache, and just learn it. I actually think it's a great tune, and as you probably well know, I'm a massive fan of Jerry Cinnamon, but I appreciate it's not everybody's cup of tea.
Yeah. So we'll move on to the theme of the podcast then.
Yeah.
Fantasy Pints. I'm sure you're aware now, and you'll have chosen them. So 3 musicians, past or present, that you can go for a drink with for one evening. I'm assuming you're not going to go Jerry Cinnamon. Who is your first?
So this was past, present, future, is it?
No, they can be any.
Necessarily.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I went with my first band I watched was Linkin Park. I was probably 11, I think. So I think it'd be primarily Chester Bennington and then Linkin Park as a band. To be honest, they'd be the past ones. I think obviously it's kind of a tragedy about Chester, so I think that's one that I'd quite like to have have met the person. I think present. There's a few. But I think I went for Nothing But Thieves. The reason being, I think they're a great band, but then I saw there's a video of them backstage and they couldn't find beer cups backstage. So they were kind of thinking of ways to create a beer cup. They had a French baguette and they cut it, hollowed it out, and lined it with cling film. And they were all stood there drinking from those. So I think that'd be they just seem like a ridiculous group of guys, to be honest. I don't know how this works, by the way. Is this back and forth? Everyone gives theirs. I've just kind of jumped in.
Oh no, we don't give ours.
No, we won't be disclosing ours. That will come probably at a later date for a milestone episode. We're here to discuss.
Right. Okay.
So and the way I always it always seems to be after the guest announces the second pick that I make sure that you're fully aware. So you imagine yourself around a table. There's 4 people around the table, you and your 3 guests all at once. Some people have thought, perhaps it's one individual 1-to-1 pint with 3 different people. We're talking 3 guests, 3 choices in the room around a table at once with you, because the next question will be, how do you think that they'll all interact with each other?
Yeah, so for the sake of this, we'll say you chose Connor from Nothing But Thieves. Is that who you, and Chester?
Yeah. This is going to be a tough one then, because my future pick was Wild Stallion. So I don't know which one I have, either Bill or Ted, basically. I don't know if you've seen the film.
Yeah, well, the other thing was it doesn't have to be past, present.
Well, fair enough. I got the past, present, future, and I think either Bill or Ted from Bill and Ted would be the future band to have. I'll probably go Bill.
Okay. I like the twist on it. This is the first time anyone's put a twist on the concept, isn't it? With past, present, future. I like that.
I feel like I've been misled here. I'm sure I saw the message of learn. Well, I don't know. Past, present, future.
We can read it out right now.
So in your head, what did you think it meant by future pick? What was your?
I thought there was only one obvious answer for future pick, and that's why I went for Wild Stallion. It's the only future band I know.
For the listeners, this is the message I sent to Dave at 9 minutes past 2 this afternoon. Don't forget for the Fantasy Pints question, 3 musicians, past or present, you would have in a room. we've lost him, folks. three musicians, past or present, you would have in a room all at once to have a pint with. But nevertheless, I like the concept. Are you sticking with your third pick being?
It's fluctuating between Bill or Ted, really. Yeah, sorry, I'll go with Bill.
Cool. Okay. So how do you think Bill, Chester, and Connor are going to get on? How do you think they're going to interact?
That's going to be a tough one to
predict. This is my favourite one so far.
I think the two singers have a chat. I just think Bill will be sat there a bit bewildered. Really, I don't think they don't really drink on Bill and Ted, do they? So maybe this is a bad answer because I've never seen them have a beer.
Okay. Well, what do you think he would be drinking if he was drinking there?
Be like a Future beer, obviously.
Obviously.
I really don't know.
Right.
There'll probably be some Wild Stallion sponsored beer or something in the future.
Got yourself in the foot ever so slightly, haven't you? 3 great answers, actually. Again, I like the twist on the concept.
I still have no idea what we're talking about.
I think when I read it as past, present, or future, I think I saw that past, present, and future. So that's my bad.
It should have just been past or present. So if James
I definitely didn't use the word future. What you've done is your brain has read the word future when it did not exist.
Yeah, my brain does that from time to time. I do apologise.
Well, no, I like it. So I'll be honest. Sean asked me beforehand. He said, "What do you think Dave's picks are going to be?" And I said, "I had absolutely no idea."
And he said, "Bill and Ted." Well, I don't know about the first.
If we're doing past, present, future, there's only one answer for the future. So, no, fair.
I'll be honest. I said I wouldn't be surprised if you said Hendrix.
Oh, okay. Well, I was thinking, I did actually think of that from past, and I just thought, actually, if I'm having a sit with someone who's renowned as just being absolutely mental after like one pint, I don't know how well we'll get along, really. And I didn't want him to annoy all the other guests. So
yeah,
that was my view.
You've given this some serious thought. I'm impressed by the thought that's got into it. Actually,
well, obviously not enough to read the question, but.
I think Chester Bennington's a good pick anyway, and I think Nothing But Thieves are one of the biggest bands at the minute as well in terms of
yeah.
They're not new, but I think the top in polls on Radio X, aren't they?
Current Rocky, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, good, and the Class live as well.
Yeah.
I'm yet to see them live, unfortunately, but hopefully.
Well, hopefully you'll see them sat around a table with Bill.
Yeah, maybe. And Chester, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, who knows? But yeah, no, that's made me laugh anyway. That got me. But thanks very much for your time.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for having us. Yeah, cheers.
And best of luck with all the music.
Thanks
we'll catch up. We'll catch up guys. Soon. And if you are looking for someone to give those tunes to, let me tell you this: I'm a terrible songwriter, so feel free to just throw them my way, and I'll
be the best.
Start releasing them myself.
I'll be the best.
There you go. Brilliant.
Cheers.
That was Dave Quilliam. Dave, you've been fantastic, mate. Thank you so much. We'll go out for a pint at some point soon. And
definitely.
With a bit of luck, we'll get in one of our gardens and start working on that set and try and get some duo gigs booked in.
Yeah.
Before you go, Dave, where can people find you on social media, etc.? Have you got any gigs booked in?
I've got a couple of things in the pipeline, so stay tuned on my page, and I'll promote them soon. I'm on Facebook. It's David Quilliam Music. I've got an Instagram page, but that's kind of slowly turned into a skiing video page, so I'd leave that. Just Facebook basically. David Quilliam Music.
The Instagram is the Quilligram, by the way, for anyone that is interested, because amongst the ski videos, there are some serious.
I think my last one's a guitar video, actually.
Guitar. Yeah. So if you want to see those little snippets, get yourself onto Dave at @dquilligram on Instagram. Dave, it's been an absolute pleasure, mate. We will catch you up very soon.
Yeah, brilliant. Cheers.
Thanks for your time.
Yeah, thanks. Cheers. Bye.
So that was Dave Quilliam, the king of the past, present, and future.
What a man. Bill and Ted.
Yeah. I think you're the same. I didn't really know what he was talking about.
I had to Google it afterwards. But Dave was so confident that was the only option for a future picks, which I loved. That was great. He was passionate about that. So that was fantastic.
Well, I think, as I mentioned off camera, if we were going down a past, present, or future route, I'd have said Marty McFly was maybe the more obvious choice from Back to the Future, but we'll leave that there, Dave. That's Dave's idea.
If you don't want to pick Marty McFly himself, pick like Tom Fletcher. You know what I mean? Or Danny Jones, or Dougie Pointer, or Harry Judd, or even like someone from Busted, Year 3000. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that would work. Yeah. But yeah, Dave did it. Dave's past, present, and future Pints podcast coming soon, hopefully. To a streaming service near you.
What are you up to this week, Sean?
It's Neighbourhood Weekender. A packed lineup at Neighbourhood, obviously in Warrington. First time they're doing a Friday night, I believe, with Jerry Cinnamon. It's basically anyone.
Am I right? Is this Jerry's first festival, like major festival headline slot? I think it might be. Maybe.
Is he headlining Transmit this year? I don't know. If he's not headline Transmit already, I'm sure that one's just around the corner. But
he must be. Yeah.
I imagine so. It could be his first headline set. But yeah, and then there's Catfish and the Bottlemen on the Sunday, and James on the Saturday. We're filling in for Ian Brown. So yeah, and I think you're seeing Catfish on the Saturday. Yeah,
because this is the same lineup, isn't it? That was supposed to be last year. Is that right?
There or thereabouts. There's like Pale Waves have pulled out because I think Heather Baron Gracie lives in America. DMAs might have been on there and they've had to pull out, or they've pulled out. So maybe it wasn't Neighbourhood, but they've pulled out of a couple of festivals. Basically, anyone who can't make it because they're abroad.
And Sean, for the listeners, fill us in. Why is Ian Brown dropped out?
Well, for anyone that doesn't know, he disagrees, even though it's not compulsory to enter. He disagrees with any festival that considers a vaccine as means of entry, even though the Neighbourhood never said that would be the case. But I'm sure he'll headline it at some point. Probably
going to be out of work for quite a while until he changes that viewpoint.
I'm sure he's sitting on enough money, Ian Brown. But yeah, so hopefully we'll see him a few years down the line.
Yeah, so Sunday,
because it's his hometown festival. He's from Warrington, isn't he? He lives in Lim, I think. So yeah.
You mentioned Catfish.
I was just going to say, so you're going to Swansea Saturday, and I'm watching on Sunday.
This is an interesting talking point, isn't it? Because it's still not been confirmed by the band, has it?
No.
Any of the rumours. There's been no official statement or confirmation from the band. But for those that don't know, there's a lot of rumours with very strong, substantial evidence to back them that Catfish, after this coming weekend, will no longer perform as a band. You can go to Catfish and the Bottlemen on or I think it's CATB Live or something on Company's House. You can see that pretty much every member, aside from Van and his individual business enterprise, have resigned from the company, basically. And that's not the only evidence, but there's very strong rumours that Saturday in Swansea is going to be their last headline gig, and Sunday will be their last ever gig. Obviously, being a festival performance.
Well, that'll be the last headline.
Sorry, gig. What I mean is the last.
Yeah, the last gig on their own, won't it?
Yes.
In terms of and then they'll headline Neighbourhood on the Sunday. I think I did watch the Reading set before it was cut short, and then I did actually go the day after onto iPlayer to watch the full set. and something wasn't quite right. I don't think so. I think we will probably hear news either at the weekend or on Monday, but it looks ominous for Catfish the Bottlemen. But
definitely, I think it's going to be an emotional one because I must admit, Sean, I don't know how strongly you feel about Catfish, but they're one of my favourite bands. Have been for a long time. So
yeah. I must have seen them nearly 20 times now.
I'm not quite that many, but I'm up there. Probably almost at double digits, 8 or 9 times, I'd say. Yeah, I think it's going to be an emotional one. We'll see, as you say, we'll see what official announcements get made after those 2 performances.
Yeah, and they've certainly been one of the best live bands of the sort of modern crop of indie artists. So it'll be a shame, but I mean, who knows? Even if it is the end for now, you never know, do you? 2027 reunion gig wouldn't surprise you, something like that, would it? So
no, although I must admit, I wouldn't mind Van just kind of dropping off the face of the earth for a while because my wife does find him very, very attractive.
Well, I think the fans are a bit annoyed that they basically always drop off the face of the earth. So I think there's been accusations they don't really give much back in terms of their online presence. But
very true. Although another point, I don't know how you feel about this, Sean. Jess at Leeds developed a crush on Tom Ogden.
Well, it must be that tuxedo he wore at his wedding.
Yeah, I did like that with the pink flares.
I was going to say he managed to keep flares going, didn't he?
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. He's a very charismatic bloke, and I think he's a very handsome chap. But looks nothing like me, does he?
You need to grow your hair.
Do you know what I mean? It looks nothing like me. Neither does Vance. So maybe I'm doing something wrong. She's going to divorce me. I don't know.
No, it's the musician thing, James. That's it.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
You fall into that category.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll know more about that and Jess's preferences next week.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah. Just before, I forgot to mention, well, I don't know if it was running last time, but we're giving away some earphones on the Facebook page, which is at Northern Chorus UK. And the Twitter is at Northern Chorus _ and the Instagram is at Northern Chorus.
Goodbye for now.
Go well.